Can you hear me? You're muted on your computer. Sorry, I put my phone down so I could hear you.
You're on.
Okay, I hear you on my computer.
I hear you now. Okay,
Okay, perfect. Yeah, sorry you guys have trouble with that. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Me either. We'll can maybe figure that out between now and the next meeting.
For sure. I hope you guys have a good one.
Thanks, Macy.
Hmm.
Bye. We are up and running, and then I have to. What do I have to do? Shh. Can you see the owl?
Oh, sorry, I'm not on.
No, that's okay. And then do I record?
Yes, but not until, maybe wait until.
Right, but I do that through more.
Let me see, click on it again. Oh, no, it's recording right now, because it's got that red button.
Oh, great. That's super.
Only for the last minute. We're good.
Okay, that's great. That's
Hey, oh my God.
Hi,
it's a snack
CT.
to share with everyone, that's so nice.
Share.
It's a gallon.
I'm gonna eat 4 pounds of goldfish myself.
Yeah, I appreciate you stopping by on Thursday to offer your support. That was good to see
Least I could do.
a friendly face who had the correct agenda. Yeah, incredibly. Agenda.
Is B&F still closed?
No,
I
they're
heard it's
open.
open.
Okay, yeah, I
Yeah.
heard the carousel was open today.
Yeah, so I drove by it and I saw they had the open sign, which is,
That's good.
yeah, it is good.
Actually.
Can I have some goldfish? I'm sorry. That'll be my first and last request.
No, I brought, you can have as many goldfish as you like.
Well, that is a problem because once you start, you can't stop it.
It's true.
I'll limit myself to. Thank you.
You bet.
Who else is?
Oh, other two teams is Nick is on. Hi,
Okay.
Nick.
Oh.
And
Glad you got on okay, Nick.
Yeah, no
Mike.
sweat. Thanks.
Scott Porter is a member of the rink board.
Oh, awesome. We're still waiting for a couple more people to filter on, then we'll get started.
Forgot how good they are until you had one.
Some absurd amount of my lifetime calorie intake
It's
comes
goldfish.
from these small cheddar crackers.
Yeah, Nick, you're missing out. CT brought a gallon jug of goldfish.
I'm good. I just ate a peach. I was mad on that, so
Not go well
topped
together.
up.
Well, I was gonna say Casey's on now. There she is.
Howdy.
Oh,
Hey.
are you Adam?
Yes, I
Oh,
am.
it's so nice to meet you in person.
Hey.
Welcome. I'm Casey.
Casey, nice to meet you.
Yeah, I know we've emailed a bunch. So.
We have? Yeah.
I'm Nikki.
Hi, Nikki.
CT.
CT.
What's going
Casey, CT, and Nikki.
Then we got a couple people online.
Okay.
Nick, who's also our new board member.
What up?
Alexa is on.
Baby
Cool.
appointment.
Okay, cool.
Nice. How is everybody?
Good, thanks. Sarah's Adam?
Adam, yeah.
Are we waiting for Luke?
Luke
Uh,
said he'd be 10 minutes behind. He is leaving Boulder.
You do
and
have
joining
quorum.
on.
We do have forum, yeah.
Just get dropped off.
Yeah, Jenna just dropped me off. To go and pick up Ari. So I might need a ride home.
I can do that. What price?
Just name your price.
Get Jesse working on the jump line.
Okay,
Just kidding.
done.
I'm going to take notes on my phone.
How's it going?
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, we'd love for you to join. Come sit.
Every time, man.
Good to see you. Thanks for coming always.
That's goldfish if you like. Snackage. Thank you. All right.
Pull up my side of this. Get on there.
I'm the secretary, so that's fine. I'm taking
Type of
notes.
And the vice chair and like basically the chair in terms of, wow, we're having a baby
There are many hats.
in a lot of ways. There's like a lot of credit to be given.
Are we, cross-scheduled with the town talk?
Yes,
Okay, that explains things.
yes. So John won't be here tonight because he has to attend the town talk.
Yep.
You have Carolyn on.
Oh, thanks.
Hey, folks.
Carolyn, how you doing? You doing?
I'm doing okay. I just I was texting Casey and Sam. I had a appointment at the hospital right before this that was supposed to be 30 minutes and it was 2.5 hours. So I unfortunately will be driving up the canyon shortly. So I'm gonna miss like a 20-minute chunk of this. But I will join. I'll be online for the rest.
You're good. Let me. Okay. I'm just pulling up the agenda and we can get going. All right, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. And we'll go around and do a roll call, basically. So start here, Casey,
Here.
CT,
Here.
Adam,
Here.
Caroline,
Here.
Electra,
Here.
and I know that on the what's that?
Nick.
Oh yeah, Nick. I'm sorry, you're new and like I'm welcome and I get in the habit. Welcome.
All good. Here.
Then Luke is gonna be joining as well in about 10 minutes, he said. So. Call the meeting to order and thanks for putting on the agenda. That basically just like a message of, I guess, thoughts. I don't know how much we can support, but to everybody impacted by the Caribou Village fire and also a big thank you to all the first responders because that could have been super horrible.
Save this down for
Yeah.
sure.
Good opportunity for Big Springs to get their egress route done if they needed the motivating. So also, we're gonna go ahead and welcome Nick and Adam, new members of the board, and we're glad you're here. Thank you
Good
for
to be
being here. If you have questions, it sounds like Casey sent you some primer stuff to like get up to speed on things, but if you don't understand how something works or it doesn't make sense, just like, wait a second, what's that mean? How does this work? Don't just say, okay.
Uh-huh.
Exactly.
Timing.
Like, and I think if you read that post, it's really helpful. It gets you really up to speed. That is like this updated PROS that we're trying to wrap up is the guiding document and allows us to like move forward with confidence on things. And then outside of that, procedurally, if there's something, yeah, if you don't understand it or like, I don't know, what does that mean? How does it work? Just ask, you know?
Cool.
So that's, there's probably some stupid questions, but mostly there's not. So we'll go around. Did everybody get a chance to look at the September minutes and approve them? I did.
Great. Okay,
I'm
so one
happy with-
person can.
yeah.
Vote to approve. Motion to approve the September 2025 minutes?
Second.
All right, do you want to go around on that one?
Sure. Sam,
Yes.
Adam,
Yes.
Casey? Yes. CT?
Yes.
Electra?
Yes.
Fine.
Yes.
And Nick?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, those minutes are approved. And then, yeah, just for Nick and Adam, if you ever see like any, like if I miscaptured something or, you know, whatnot, because I'm not like perfect, we can always like, hey, like, can you make this correction or clarification of the minutes and we can update that and before it gets like officially lodged in the town's record forever. So feel free to call that out. So, but sounds like we're good to go with the September minutes.
And if you're ever short on time, throw them in ChatGPT. That way you can check them and at least have a sense of what's going on. And ask for a summary. So public comment on non-agenda items. Do we have anybody from the public that would like to comment? And keep in mind, you have 3 minutes and we try to stick to that pretty squarely to respect everybody's time.
Jim?
Jim, do you have any comments?
No.
Okay. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you being here. Anybody else? Who's Scott Porter? I'm sorry.
He's a rank board member.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I was just confirming. Scott, do you have anything at the moment? Or do you want to wait till we get to that item? I assume you're waiting or just hanging out. I know we had emailed back and forth a little bit.
Sorry, I
So-
was trying to respond. Can you hear me now?
We can, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm more here just to listen and see if there's anything I can do to help along the way, but I'll let you guys just run your show.
Well, thank you for being here. We appreciate it. All right, so October 6th, 2025 email from Nicole asking what's next for the Rig Trail. Did everybody have a chance to read that email? And then additionally, it's sort of a Nikki, that's kind of your response time. So
Do you want me to discuss it now or in the discussion items later?
what's your preference?
And talk about it now.
Let's go for it.
So yesterday we had 20 students, volunteers that are historically awesome volunteers for me. They come from New Vista High School in Boulder once a year.
Oh,
We filled 2 dumpsters yesterday in about an hour and a half. Those kids are fast and hardworking.
of like
Slash.
slash or
Stumps
stumps.
and juniper. So those
Gotcha.
are the 2 things
great.
they don't take at our sort yard.
Right.
So we brought in 2 dumpsters, filled those. Next steps on the Rink Link Trail is probably in the next week or 2. The problem is that we're short-staffed for the next week or 2. So within
Okay.
but a very short time frame, I'll be reaching out to call for volunteers to help us level the trail.
Cool.
Right now, it's got a lot of slope to it where the skid steer just doesn't dig in as much.
Yeah.
So within the next week or 2, we'll be calling out for volunteers to help us level the trail. But the initial trail has been cut. It's in. If you want to go walk it, please feel free.
And like big props, you got it done. Like the thing is moving underway and before we know it, we'll have a nice, like it'll be totally done. So, and also something to keep in mind, you know, for everybody who hasn't had the chance to build trail of any kind in that way, like it looks like way more of a mess during its building phase than once it's done. And that's just something to keep in mind that it gets pretty beautiful towards the end. So thank you for that. It's a big deal and it's awesome.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Sorry, what is it link? I'm guessing it connects the rink to something, but what is it linking to? I'm
Rink?
unaware.
link trail connects the Netherland Ice Rink essentially to the elementary school, and there's
Okay.
BLM bicycle trails down in that area as well.
Trails that run all through the forestry land just next to town.
Yep, okay. Well, I
So
know
it's
the
got-
zone.
Great connector for that neighborhood to cut across and get over to the elementary school.
Mhm.
You know, another efficient path there. And vice
Thank you.
versa, come to the rink. Good question.
How
Uh,
long is the trail? I know that, I feel like it's not super long, but
It's not,
No,
like maybe like 0.2 or
I-
0.1.
Like half a mile.
if I
or less than that.
remember correctly, when I walked it's like 0.2
Mm.
something. Jesse Severs and I actually walked it with
Yeah,
one of those.
tracking apps.
Been a long week, guys. So yeah, we walked in, and if I remember correctly, it was somewhere between the 0.2 and 0.3 in length.
Well, we're just gonna maybe consider this the kickoff to all the connector trails getting built over the next season of when those can be done. Cause it's awesome. It's a big deal. I'm super excited about it. All right, October 10th, 2025, email conversation with Luke and Gavin on the rink winter season shade versus chiller. I have some more update on that in the discussion items that I'm sure will also be like, it's really a kind of tossing it back to Nikki, what you know and the research you've done. But I did have some conversations there that we will discuss. Future, there's just like some cool opportunities if we can find a solution there that's like makes sense and could be funded, et cetera. And so we'll see where we get to with that tonight. But I think we leave that to the discussion items for now. So, hey, Luke, we're just talking about you.
Jeez.
Then, and in fact, now that you've just arrived and have a moment to get settled, we might switch your update and Nikki's so that you can have a chance to breathe. And so, Nikki, do you mind doing your staff report
Not at all.
first?
So this is a staff report for September of 2025. We worked a lot on the Rink Link Trail, with all the tree removal being completed, and the trail was successfully roughed in. And like I said, we removed all those stumps, and slash is still going out, but for the most part, that's underway. The mitigation efforts along the elementary school trail are nearing completion. There's a couple more trees that we have to take down into the road to improve the safety and accessibility. But also, we're just kind of picking away at fire mitigation this year since we didn't have any real funding for mitigation. We're just kind of doing it ourselves. At the Gillespie House, we added an ADA ramp. It's a wheelchair accessible ramp, but the building is not, so
Yeah.
it's at least they've got a ramp if they need it if they have got some smaller mobility challenges. There we built new side entry stairs, and we also had some quotes brought in for the electrical on that building to be updated. The basketball court at the Chipeta Park was sealed, and crack repair was done there. The surrounding area was composted and seeded. Chipeta's getting ready to be shut down. We were going to shut it down today, but there's a memorial service for the animals that were lost in the fire on Saturday. And yeah, we've already winterized the Gillespie house and like the drinking fountains and some of the other things on our facilities that just really can't sustain any kind of cold weather. So at the end of my staff report this time, I talked a lot about this in the meeting. I don't know if you watched the meeting last week, the month, but we are the town of Netherland Parks Department, and every day of the year, we begin our mornings by opening bathrooms, picking up litter, and emptying trash cans throughout the town. We care for all of Netherlands parks, open spaces, and public facilities, ensuring that they remain clean, safe, and welcoming for everyone to enjoy. At any given moment, we will drop whatever we are doing to support our community and other departments. We take great pride in the work we do and the beauty of our community. Our team loves this town, and we are honored to serve its residents and visitors alike through stewardship, maintenance, and dedication to public spaces that reflect Netherlands' spirit. That being said, I can promise you that there is never a moment where it's one-sided in this town.
Mm.
There is always two sports. There is always two sides. There's always two somethings at least. So we do our very best to balance the needs of the community as a whole and what works best for everyone. Okay, that's all.
Any questions for Nikki or discussion there? Did you all get pulled into the fire stuff?
Oh, yeah.
though? Like, what was the role that ended up? Look in that way?
So, we were all in very early that morning.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
kind of all hands on deck sort
yeah,
of deal.
absolutely. So, Adam and Matt are two of our streets department. They and Mark Slosher, and then Robbie some too, ran traffic most of the day. They had to do
Okay, yeah.
traffic control. But at the very beginning, the very, very first thing that we were called to do, besides bring out some barricades, which usually falls on Parks. Parks usually brings barricades out. But very first thing in the morning, we start getting calls from, City of Boulder. And actually, the first call came from Town of Netherlands, Andrew Bliss, the utilities manager, who said, we need to protect the creek. So we ran and got every wattle that we could. Boulder County Public Works gave us the wattles that they had. We
What's a
had
waddle? I'm sorry, I'm not.
a wattle is a roll of like straw or
Okay,
recycled asphalt or
Got it.
not asphalt, rubber, those kinds of things that would they block the debris from flowing.
oh,
into
yeah,
the
okay,
creek.
gotcha. I just wasn't familiar with.
So
Neat.
we were trying to block the debris from flowing into our creek, into our culverts, into our sewer system
Right.
by putting these wattles out. The wattles went all the way from all the way around the BNF area, all the way down to the skate park. So that was all of us together. Mark, Robbie, myself, Matt, and Adam ran around putting every wattle that we had out.
Yeah,
The three guys, Mark, Adam, and Matt ran traffic most of the day. Robbie, probably around noontime, I broke Robbie out and had him go keep working on fire mitigation. But for me, it's different because everybody knows me.
right.
Everybody knows me.
Yeah.
And it's not my first rodeo with the town. It's not my first bombing. It's not my first fire. It's not my
Yeah.
first anything.
Sort of
So,
public emergency style.
so the sheriff is calling me, the fire department is calling me, John Kane is calling me, and then, so John runs to the mayor and to the board,
Right.
and then he acts as the interference to town staff. And so anything that they were needing, he was calling me, but then anything that the sheriff and or the fire department was needing, then I would direct that phone call. I had,
Like the.
had insurance
Command and
inspectors that were
control
there
center.
immediately, and so I'd have to take them. This is Charlie, this is Andrew, this is,
Yeah.
okay, you know, whatever, trying to get people, getting all the barricades up. And then, of course, the guys needed respirators and things like that. They
Yeah.
were running traffic control, so, just running little errands like that.
Totally.
Oh, yeah, I did have Robbie looking at video cameras. We were everywhere, and it was all day long. None
I'm
of
sure.
us left until 7 o'clock that night.
Yeah, Yeah.
And then back at it all weekend long.
right.
So even though I wasn't doing a whole lot, I was at the shop all weekend long.
Yeah. Well, it's a whole lot, right?
It's a whole lot.
Yeah.
And just huge thank you to your staff, to you personally,
Thanks.
for what you did for your town in a
Yes,
moment.
thank you, Nikki.
Yeah.
It really makes an impact.
So funny story. I just bought myself some new shoes, and that morning I put on my new shoes because John had called it like before dawn. That's for darn sure. And said Caribou Village is gone, and I went, nobody steals a shopping center. And then he said, no, like it's like burning up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'll be there in 20 minutes. So I threw my new shoes on, and I put more than 20,000 steps on brand new shoes that day, and was like, I don't think I could have peeled them off with a shoehorn any faster when I got home. It was just like, oh my God, that was an intense day.
Yeah.
But all in all, I was very proud of the vast majority of our community is incredible. So
Was there any sign of, I know there were embers going down, to east towards Chipeta and stuff. I mean, was there any sign of burn marks down there, like stuff that
No,
could have caught on fire if
No.
things were worse?
no, and Chipeta held up really, really well. And in fact, so did the, like, directly behind BNF. There was no
And we all got like a lot of
fires.
great response and we got lucky with weather.
Yeah.
We got unbelievably lucky. We got unbelievable.
That 2 inches of snow or whatever fell and
Yeah.
stayed with us a little bit.
Yeah.
Everything was still a little bit moist. It wasn't like today.
Yeah,
If
right.
it happened today.
Totally different story.
Well, and just that we didn't have any wind.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, when we were all in at 4:30, 5 o'clock that morning, it was a little breezy and
Is that
we were
right?
all kind of like,
Oh boy, what's it gonna do?
oh boy.
Yeah,
There was that oh boy moment.
like this could be
Um,
super worse.
super bad. That's, the part of the reason why they started evacuating the town.
Yeah, for sure.
The whole town. But yeah, it's just one of those things. It was whatever the opposite of a perfect storm is.
Right.
Yeah.
So is there like, just to wrap this up, is there a lot of ongoing at this point for the parks at the moment, or is it sort of settled out into the different? ages?
Today they reopened Big Springs Drive, but we know there's gonna be the benefit concert, so we're tomorrow gonna be staging those barricades.
Okay.
At a different location, just so we don't have to keep hauling them back and forth.
Right.
So we'll just stage the barricades in a different spot, and then no, it's just a matter of when Sheriff Mendez or Sergeant Mendez calls, or Charlie, whatever they need.
Are the wattles put across the creek ours or Boulder County?
They are ours, and there are probably a dozen, maybe 10 to a dozen that belong to Boulder County Public Works. I ran over there that morning, and just said, hey, you guys, do you have any wattles?
Yeah,
I don't know how many we have, and they gave us everything that they had, which wasn't a lot. And theirs are very distinguishable from ours. Theirs are recycled rubber, and ours are the straw that we
Oh, yeah.
put out, so. Very different wattles, but we had just enough to protect. Then the city of Boulder came up,
Yeah.
and the city of Boulder put out some further down, closer to the skate park and North Beaver Creek.
Yeah, I saw those City of Boulder guys down
Yeah.
there the other day.
So I don't know when we're gonna pick those up, but I kind of want to wait till after the first rain or snow or whatever.
Yeah.
Let some stuff kind of.
doesn't seem like there's a hurry, right? Like,
Not
just
in a hurry.
let it protect the environment
Yep.
if we can, and otherwise, they can be picked up. And
Plus, they're gonna be demolishing that thing for the next 2 months.
That's a lot.
But I mean, they're not gonna be able to start demolishing it until they're done with the investigation.
Right.
I think
Which
they
they-
got that about squared away now.
I think they finished today.
I thought so, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's,
They turned.
now we're into that like Jeff Foxworthy skit. We're like, I was,
That's what I do.
yeah,
They did turn the scene back over to Ned Fire today.
cool. All right, well, thank you so much. It's a big deal. It's a lot of work and
Yeah.
it's tiring and it's also like a big impact
We had a
visually on the community and sales tax is a big impact.
great
Yeah.
See how
staff.
quickly that
turnout,
ends up
like-
getting restored with people getting back in business with other places and stuff.
Yeah,
Wow.
So,
All that inventory.
it's totally trivial next to the fire stuff, but, are we thinking we'll have the rink trail ready before snow falls or?
Oh,
Yeah, we,
yeah, you just kind of gave us an update on it.
I don't know. I mean, we already had snow.
What?
So, so no. Yeah, too late, missed it. Really quick recap, we removed all the stumps and juniper yesterday,
I thought there was that big roll off there. That was all. for-
2 of them.
That's, but like wood, that's all wood slash.
Yep,
stuff.
2.
Okay, cool. I was
The,
like, oh my God, they pulling that much trash out of there?
no, we filled 2 dumpsters with stumps and junipers yesterday in about an hour and a half with the 20 kids that I had volunteering.
Oh, that's awesome.
Super cool. The next step, we're really kind of short-staffed over the next couple of weeks, but sometime very soon, I will be putting a call out for volunteers to help us level the trail a little bit more, because it's pretty sloped right now. That's what a skid steer does. So that'll be the next step, is to call it in some volunteers. That could be a little tricky with weather, but
Go back.
it'll be what it'll be.
Yeah.
So if we,
Um,
what we do.
I'm sure that you are sure, but that where it first breaks off, is it just an illusion that it goes up into the Caribou Ridge property, or is that? like,
It does not go into the Caribou
okay,
Ridge
it's
Project.
just like as it breaks off that trail, I was like, oh my God, we,
Yeah.
because there's that marker, there's a corner marker there.
Yeah, no, it does not go into
Okay,
that.
cool, I just,
No, and,
using my own mind on that more than anything.
the big deal, once we get it leveled, we'll roll it. So this is the steps of it. Once we get it leveled with volunteers, we will come in there with our roller.
Yeah.
And roll it to compact it.
Yeah.
And then the next step after that is to bring in the road base. So
Yeah.
you bring in 2 inches of road base, and then that'll take volunteers as well.
Yeah.
And I don't know how we're gonna do that because that's a lot of skid buckets.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
If you think about
yeah,
a third of a mile with a skid steer,
yeah.
2
It's
inches
one of those, like,
thick.
little, you know, those things that, Boulder County had down in Mud Lake, they had those little like it's like a powered wheelbarrow thing. Did you see those things?
Yeah, sure.
A couple like last summer or something?
Yeah, then that's basically what we were talking about was just like skid steers and wheelbarrows. That's what it's gonna be. So 2 inches thick of road base, and then you do and then you roll it, and then you do 2 inches crusher fine, roll it. 2 inches of crusher fine, roll it, 2 inches until you're up to about a 6 to 8 inch base, and then nothing will really grow through it. So,
You lay down fabric and all?
nope,
Just on that.
nope. If you build the trail correctly, you don't need fabric.
And is there any edge work
All about
at that
compacting.
point that you think will need to be done? Just kind of like clean up edge work at that point, or is you pretty good?
You know, the edge work, there's some spots where the edge work, we'll have to be cleaning up the edge work and
Okay.
stuff like that, but we'll
That might
definitely.
be good volunteer stuff too.
Yep.
Yeah.
I definitely don't think that'll happen until, with all of that work that needs to be done, it's gonna be a mission,
Okay.
but we'll get her.
Don't forget, I'm a volunteer. I know how to do more than pull weeds.
I know you do.
You got skid
This is
steer.
my best
Yeah, I
volunteer.
know there's a bunch of people who are eager to help out, so.
Yep.
Let us
So-
know and we'll try and rally people to
Yep.
help you. I was saying I'm excited about it and, we're gonna move on to you.
Go.
What's happening at the Board of Trustees? Anything? Just kidding.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, yeah, like,
Unfortunately.
yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's good.
Guns more than busy.
Yeah.
As if we didn't already have our hands full with all the outdoor due diligence. Yeah, it's like there's not a lot of, space for much else. I know we were hoping to get the prost in front of the board, but, I think based on all the other things that are piling up, we have to push it back anyway, even though you and I aren't done our parts. So, yeah, there's, not a whole lot
Okay.
on there, on that front. The yeah, the fire stuff will push us back a little bit, but I think there is some interest in trying to do something for the rink before winter.
Yeah.
You know, if there's anything the board could do, so that will, I would love to see that get kind of pushed up, you know, from our end as well. And yeah, that's about it. I mean,
Okay.
hopefully we don't hit any bumps through the rest of the Eldora stuff, and then that will ease off, kind of by the middle of November. And there'll be a little bit more bandwidth, but
When you say bumps with Eldora, is it kind of just like the final, is it like a due diligence period? or-
yeah, we're in the due diligence period, and so you know, we're just getting all of the information from all of the people that have, that, you know, are involved and just like buying a house, you know, there's, as you go through that intermediary period between, you know, your offer and your closing, all kinds of things come up, and so, but right now, it's on track, so
Okay.
it's, you know, it'll be great to see that kind of keep going. And, you know, once that is complete, that'll free up a lot of time for everybody involved.
Sweet.
So with the winter season or opening, you know, it's gonna continue under the current owners and then
Yeah,
depending on.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, everything just keeps going with powder until closing. And that the big thing that they're working on is hiring the new mountain,
Sorry, say it again?
the new mountain manager.
Oh, cool.
I And I don't know exactly where they're at with that, but that's kind of the,
Yeah, because Brett was.
yeah, Brett retired. Yeah, so that's where that's at.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Thanks for your
Busy,
work, get
busy.
it done, and
Yeah.
I'm excited about it.
yeah.
Anything else? All right, we're gonna move on.
Cool.
Okay, so discussion items. So I put this one on here. I'm gonna add to it, kind of strongly consider establishing a liaison role from PROSAB with Boulder County Parks and Open Space and or City of Boulder. It aligns with our desire to have like the influence over tracts of land that we interface with and are part of our sort of recreation, like greater recreation zone, if you will. And it also came up specifically, Adam, you'll be able to speak some to it too, but like I was confronted and accused by the police, one of the sheriffs recently. I was meeting up for a group ride on private property to go ride my bike, and there was a social media post about it. The sheriff came to the private property and opened rather aggressively with, "I know you cannot ride on Tucker property," which is just up Caribou Road. It's a piece of property Boulder County bought 2 years ago, been made aware of.
Yeah.
And I know you're going to do it.
Yeah,
Not what we were planning to do.
I got some
So,
commentary from some neighbors about this.
yeah, so, I mean, the reality is like that, people have been riding that for a long time as it was private property. It's essentially social trails. There's a lot of bike trails that are like social trails that people ride bikes on in the forest up there.
I am.
And in the Boulder County Ranger District, you can ride your bike on any trail in the national forest. You're allowed to. And so it doesn't have to be sanctioned for biking unless it's explicitly like not allowed. You're allowed to. That's the deal.
Yeah,
And
so,
hold on, let me finish.
Please,
Just so that we
sorry.
get the full picture, not to shut you down.
no,
And so that occurred, and then we met Chris, the head ranger of Boulder County, or one of the rangers of Boulder County Open Space, also showed up, and then we all had a discussion, but like we were accused, and like whether it's actual harassment or not, like for a sheriff to show up on private property and say, "I know you're gonna go do something." They can't do that. That's not how it works. And so I filed that report with and with the Boulder County Police, like let them know what was going on. And then also with Boulder County Open Space, like, hey, we're having an interface up here that's like not respecting the way the community has historically used this piece of land. And where is this, because it's all also our taxpayer dollars, like contributing to the, greater acquisition of land with Boulder County, like where's the opportunity for our community to have a say in what happens with the land that we're interfacing with and which recreation groups get to use it? And so historically, like Boulder County is really great at conservation, which is awesome, but they also historically don't necessarily have a plan once they acquire something all the time in terms of how they're going to actually manage it and giving input. And so what I want to do just in general here with PROSAB is make sure we have like an actual formalized relationship with Boulder County Open Space for all user groups, like hiking, equestrian, and biking. Obviously, this was like a biking situation that's causing conflict, but I want all the different user groups to have a say in Boulder County Parks and Open Space land acquisition through a formalized channel. And we're like the natural board to interface with their parks board, right? Because we're representing our parks board. So that's like the reasoning and the reason behind it. And then Adam, you can add, because you've had like a personal, you've had a personal interaction as well
Yeah.
by riding your bike. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
and that's just like one example. We also have like Park Hill. There's a lot of land that if we were to like have the opportunity to have a say in it, we can have incredible additional recreation.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
then we'll get to, so that way you just.
Yeah, are we talking about the importance of mountain biking in
Yeah, I mean,
Right now, is that what we're doing, or are we
feel free to
talking?
like, and this is open to discussion at this point. We'll try to like keep it succinct enough so we're not just like running over tons of time, but like, this is an opportunity to discuss it.
Yeah,
And
I
obviously,
mean,
my viewpoint
as
is
far as,
that we should have a role.
I agree as
Yeah.
well. And to speak to this piece of property, it is the egress for trails that have been there since the nineties, that were originally created by dirt bikes going up the national forest
Mhm.
legally. And then
you
mountain
like
bikers started riding down the
Yeah.
trails.
Me and my friends.
And it's fun.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely, yeah.
Recreation.
So-
They were there before.
Mountain bikers kind of found themselves in this zone. Um, like I said, since the nineties, and I think there are plenty of people in the community who can attest to that.
80s.
Eighties.
80s.
There we go.
We're gonna lean on Nikki
Beginning,
here.
yeah. I mean, I can
Since the
remember,
beginning of
I
time.
can remember in 2012,
That's when,
I can remember in 2012, I was riding a lift at Eldora. And I was talking to a guy about mountain biking, and he was like, you know where the best trails in that are? Right over there. And he pointed at Caribou.
The Caribou
Yeah.
stuff.
I was like, really? So I think that there's obviously evidence to support historic usage, and then people, exiting through the Tucker property, I think makes a lot of sense. Just because I know that the people who live at the bottom of Hicks Gulch Road don't want people ripping down there, even though it is a Forest Service road. Although I did talk to the guy who lives at the beginning of that road, and he told me that the county's trying to put a gate in right there. And that it's not actually a Forest Service road because it's not 14 feet wide, so it can't accommodate an emergency vehicle now,
yeah.
which is a shame. Because there's lots of there's lots of places, and this is maybe us being on our soapbox, and I don't know if it's the correct platform for this, but there are lots of places for people to
I'll
hike.
do my best to keep it
in
unbiased, but like there is bias, right? Like,
Yeah.
and it was frustrating to be like harassed for an hour basically.
Right.
And have to ask for them to de-escalate confrontation.
Yeah,
And
I
that-
think there's something that's like regardless of the user group, like to have the sheriff come in and accuse anybody of
Future
doing
actions,
something that they haven't done is
not acceptable.
something we,
Law
that's like,
enforcement.
that's one thing, right?
And I'm all for police, like,
Yeah.
But not a use of power.
Right, and then also like then separately, there's a issue of, okay, we have recreational
Right.
conflicts in the area, which like, we're not gonna solve that, but
Mhm.
that's something that if, as this board, like, we want to be supportive of, like, how do we accommodate all the user groups
Yeah.
and keep everybody happy? But it seems like, and I think the point you're trying to make is, in order to do that, we need to work with
Mhm.
Boulder County and the Forest Service.
That's right.
Because
And
we're not gonna be able to do, or at least do something to keep the,
Yeah.
to resolve the,
right,
not necessarily conflicts, but just to like do our best to accommodate everybody.
Yeah.
And hopefully we're able to work like proactively.
Right.
Versus reactively.
Right,
Mhm.
right. And that's,
Because it's part of the fabric of our recreational experience in the community. And there's also like really cool opportunities to do stuff unrelated to Tucker property with how Town of Ned interfaces with Boulder County line. Now, I'm gonna stop talking for a sec. CTI, it seemed like you had something
Yeah.
to share. And
I was just going to say that I have had multiple contacts from neighbors up on Sunnyside saying exactly the same thing, that they've encountered very aggressive ticketing, very aggressive
Oh, yeah.
interactions with Boulder County rangers.
Rangers. Right.
That they'd be sitting there on the road waiting to ticket folks. And I couldn't be a bigger supporter of Boulder County Rangers in particular,
Right.
who do great work. But it seems that we're off to a very acrimonious relationship around this.
Yeah.
And I couldn't agree more that what's needed is a real liaison between the two, because these are locals. These
Yeah.
are people that have been riding those trails forever, and they're just looking to take their kids out there, have some fun. We're not talking out of town. We're not talking
Yeah,
cutting new trails. So the formalization of trails and a liaison like you're suggesting, I think is a very strong move.
cool.
I would say that what would be needed next would be the creation by our board, by some volunteers, of a description of that role.
That's right.
So that we.
Yeah, and like really identifying which, do we want a relationship with Boulder County Parks and Open Space staff, or do we want one with their board? Or both, because there's the board side of how they represent their parks. There's the staff that runs Boulder County Open Space and Parks, and then there's the city of Boulder.
Mhm.
And realistically, if we look at this from a holistic perspective, and we zoom out from this sort of like inflection point of an issue that we're talking about here,
Yep.
that's causing conflict in the community, basically. I think we say, okay, we really probably should be interfacing with probably all three formally. Do we have the capacity, the interest, or like, how do we choose? You know, what's the most effective way to have a healthy relationship there where we can discuss things?
Kind of makes
So
sense.
that would be
Before
that's why it's like a discussion, right, at this point, and
Yeah.
then we could appoint. Or people can volunteer to say, I will do that liaison position. I'm happy to, but also like wondering, do we need multiple, you know? So that's kind of the other piece of
mean-
the discussion.
As with anything, organizationally or practically around here, it's
Yeah.
all a matter of how much time do people have. Because like improving our relationships with county and city, that could be someone's full-time job all day, every day.
Oh.
No problem.
Yeah,
And then not an hour of it would be misspent. So it's just how much can we pour into it and how much is practical? The emergent need seems to be at least some kind of intervening step between us and the sheriff's department and the rangers.
yeah,
Because, yeah, I totally understand. We do not want people cutting trails themselves.
right.
That is not going to work.
Yeah, and that's not like, don't need to be doing that in Boulder County.
Yeah, of
open
course,
space and
of
stuff
course.
like that. And
But,
so-
but we do need to bring down the temperature between these law enforcement agencies and locals.
And the other thing, like, for us to recognize with this specific issue is, and this is super nuanced, but they're ticketing. Maybe it's considered education, but they're ticketing and there's also zero functional signage. There is one sign that is actually not in the path of the route in or out. It's just uphill from the entrance off of Caribou Road. And it just says Boulder County Open Space, doesn't say anything about recreation use. Their policy, I now am aware, is
Mhm.
that if mountain biking isn't designated, it's not allowed. But
Probably
they don't
agree
have,
with that, because they'll just add the signage that says.
well, yeah,
such and
like,
such and all that.
even since our interaction 2 weekends ago, I
Is
said,
that their,
that is,
that's
yes,
written-
it's totally
written
written.
policy.
Yeah, yeah.
that we need to see, probably? I mean,
No, it's online. It's like very, very visible
if
and
it's not explicitly
it's super.
allowed,
Yeah.
it's explicitly not allowed.
Yeah, it's frustrating for sure if you're mountain bike, but like it is really clear. And so the thing that's not clear is where does their land end and begin as you move across like other pieces of land that you would naturally be in. And so part of the discussion after the confrontation with the ranger was that I showed him pictures, like, look, I went and walked up there, like there aren't signs. When I leave National Forest, like I have no idea unless I have a mapping app. I happen to know how they work, so I looked it up but I asked them like, do you know where the line is on the other side? Like, can you show me on a map? Like on Google Maps? And they were like, no. It's like, we just know where the line is on this side, but we don't know exactly. So I was like, well, can we go up there and walk it, you know? And then additionally, I'm just bringing these points up because
Yeah,
the reason I'm bringing them up is because what I'm disappointed with, frustrated maybe, but disappointed with is like the way they're handling this particular situation. And even when I asked the sheriff, like, look, if we come to National Forest, like technically we're not allowed to ride our bikes right now that we know. And let's say I know where the line is, can I just carry my bike if I want to like ride the stuff up there because it's fun? And he's like, oh, no, you cannot. And I said, well, hold on. And like Chris came over, the ranger, I was like, I'm gonna ask you this again, the same question. He said, oh yeah, it's just like a wilderness area. If you want to walk your bike, like you can do it. And it is totally within the realm. I said, okay, cool. Can you explain that to the sheriff? Because like, if you're gonna enforce things, you need to like
well,
be clear on your rules and regs versus, so anyways, I'll stop. That is a bit on the soapbox. That's why I think we should have a role.
And they want that role too.
Yeah,
From what
they-
I heard from
yeah.
Sarah and now from the head ranger.
Yeah.
Who
well,
said they're
I
looking.
think they'd be
I'm sure
welcome.
the deputies and the rangers have better things to do.
You would hope, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You would think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, so,
Maybe next meeting, we can like work through that a little bit.
Yeah.
more,
Yeah.
Developing the parameters of liaison, and maybe we should do outreach to the Boulder County,
I think
they're
you're
called
right.
POSAC, just to
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
like, before we go do all the work of like. creating
Yeah,
the liaison,
like,
be
hey,
like,
can
hey,
we-
will you actually work with us
Exactly.
if we
Right.
create this position, and
Yeah.
if they're like, no, and then we put in all this work
Yeah.
to like.
And
Do that?
I wonder if like initially, I think they meet at a fairly similar interval.
yeah,
Yeah, I actually just looked it up. It's the fourth Thursday of each month at 6:30.
Yeah,
cool.
So it
Excellent.
doesn't directly conflict with this meeting.
That's
yeah,
great.
yeah. But I was wondering if like maybe we, like, if we can't, like you're saying, I mean, that's a full-time job, like, and to dump that onto one person's shoulders is a lot. Like if we
Maybe we rotate.
rotate, right, and it's just like, can you bring.
You're committing to like being at their meeting
Yeah,
once every
yeah,
whatever number of months.
yeah, and I didn't realize that it exactly conflicted with ours, but if that's the case, I don't know, maybe.
No, it doesn't. We're third.
Ours is the third Thursday.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so-
Yeah, and there's the fourth.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
perfect, right, so we could do like, yeah, and then you bring back a report to them,
I think that's a good idea.
at least to get started.
Yeah. And we'll reach out to them and see, are they like receptive to that? If not, we'll like,
And then, maybe one of their people could come here too. you know?
right, yeah. If they're open to that, it'd be great. We can establish that relationship, have it and try and keep it low workload so that it can stay consistent.
Our meetings are
And-
set for 3 hours, guys, so makes us look pretty low maintenance.
We'll have more to do.
Yeah, they
They,
gotta.
they need the really big things.
Yeah, and I think it also is an opportunity to collaborate potentially on support for our Parks Department as needed, where like maybe there's equipment that we need or could be shared or used or like something like that, where it's part of the greater county and beyond these little bit of conflict, like there's probably like a pretty cool collaborative opportunity here to develop. So I'm gonna set my frustrations aside of my personal interactions and we like hopefully can move forward. I do wonder, do we as a board want to send any kind of like, hey, note or recommendation to BOT to like to their boards, to Boulder, to say like, we would like to see these pieces of land have public comment as they're part of our recreation fabric up here, but they're not within our town limits. Like, we
Yeah,
have influence. Does that make sense?
yeah, I don't know.
Maybe it doesn't.
Yeah, I don't know how much the BOT would be able to do there, but certainly that's something we can bring up. I would be interested to know like some of the other municipalities in Boulder County, like Lyons or Erie, or like some of the, slightly smaller, like, do they do anything similar?
So they
I'm
have
sure-
started
Oh, yeah.
and been introduced and they are having similar challenges where land's being bought, access is being changed, that's historical. And they're finding it over the years frustrating
Yeah,
and challenging.
I'm sure Lyons,
Like everybody's excited, like, thank you for conserving, but also like in Lions, for example, this is from Wendy Sweet from BMA, not directly from Lions, so like to make that clear, trying to set up a meeting with them, that their challenge because of some of Boulder County's purchases, they can't actually like expand aspects of their commerce in town and aspects of their recreation that they want to lean into for their economy. And so it's like this balance of conservation and additionally, this is an important piece of the puzzle here as well, and then we will try to move on from this, but like they are in the process of hiring a new director for Boulder County Parks and Open Space, and so it would be really good for Netherland, if possible, to have some representation in that hiring process. So that we can help have an influence on who gets hired, a say. And because just like any hiring process, there's boards, involved in those things. And so I can figure out those details of like how it works and whether or not we can have some role there. Because that allows us to have some influence over like who's guiding the way this policy happens. And right now I might botch this, so I'll try and follow up with specific clarity on it. They don't have someone on staff to be the voice of recreation, like what happens for recreation. Once a parcel's purchased, they just have like the conservationist side. So just like, while that's wonderful and respectable and incredible, the balance doesn't necessarily exist to have a little bit of someone saying, okay, what's the recreational potential need or historical use here as well? So that next director is likely going to be the one that sets that kind of agenda, somewhat. So there's the kind of overview thoughts. I think the takeaway item is like we appoint or like we discuss that role, and I like the idea of it being like a turnover where you're like, okay, maybe once a year, you go to the
Maybe
meeting.
it's a yearly appointment or a quarterly, whatever
Yeah.
works for people.
Yeah, and
Well,
just
not even that, like, it's like you, like Luke said, like
every
you,
month. Yeah.
you're just signing up and saying, I'll go next month.
Mhm.
And then who's gonna go each month, and like, that's just your commitment. And you could even like swap with someone if you needed to. We just wanna make sure somebody's there. And it's like, then it means you're only going to one extra meeting a year, basically.
Yeah, yeah, two of them. If there's six of us and we're doing it once a month, like
Right.
that's twice a year.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and I think it would make sense to talk to, I think Lions in particular, because they're,
And Erie, they're both like.
yeah,
running in
like
the same
looking at the
direction.
map, like Boulder County actually owns open space land that's inside Lions city limits, right? So
Yeah.
they're probably having similar issues of like, hey, this
Park
is,
Hill is kind of an example. of that.
yeah, like this is like really in our world and not in our control. That's,
Yeah.
Good stuff that would be really helpful to understand how they're dealing with that. And they probably are at a similar scale of resources too, because like you talk to like, Longmont or something,
It's a little different
they,
story.
yeah, right, they're, I think probably afford to pay somebody full time to deal with that.
Yeah.
Cool, I think that's a great thing to.
Should we do you think functionally we just put it as a vote to like, we're gonna vote to establish this role and here's what it looks like we'll
Right
write it
now?
up? No, like at
Oh,
the next meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
At the next
I was
meeting.
gonna say. we can-
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
at the
sure,
next meeting, like, our
we'll
goal-
vote on-
like we'll write up, here's what it should be. I'll do it and like try to get that out. I'll get it out ahead of time of the meeting. And then we say, okay, here's what the role looks like. Here's how we coordinate it. Here's our plan. And in addition, we'll have like reached out and had meetings with, who does it make sense? Probably the board, probably that makes sense. And like, and then we can invite the rangers if they're open to it that are up here and serving up here that also live up here. That you have gotten to know
Mhm.
outside of your interaction, like to come to our meetings as well, at least every couple meetings to have like some relationship there.
Yeah.
So they have a node into the community.
Yeah.
Any comments or questions or discussion from the online crowd? Nick, you want to go to the next one first? Just kidding.
Yeah, I'm down. Let's do it. Thanks for
Um,
pointing out the deep end. I'll jump right in.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. And no, I just wanted to ask, anybody online have any input here before we move on from it?
Well, as
this.
another mountain biker, I'll just chime in to say that, yeah, this makes a lot of sense because I think that there's been a real lack of clarity when it comes to, honestly, even if you want to try to follow the rules, you find yourself on a trail and you don't really know where you are. So I think your solution makes a lot of sense.
Sam, I might follow up with you after this just because I was in the canyon for I think the beginning of your story, but just to clarify, it sounds like mountain biking are like normal caribou downhill is off limits for now.
Not stuff in the forest, but the stuff that's in Tucker, like the Boulder County piece of land is where there's like conflict, but no signage and no clarity. And like, if you hadn't
Okay.
heard from someone, you would have no way of knowing. Yeah.
Dang. Okay. Yeah, and that's people ride that all the time.
Yeah, and not just people up here, like people come, stuff shares. And so like to be accusing people and sort of harassing a little bit doesn't feel like a functional way to educate and operate within our community. Like, I think we're looking for a more like, we want, if you need to educate on something, like you need to do it properly. You can't just be harassing and stuff like that. And then confronting people on private property and accusing them of future
I
actions.
feel that we may have covered this.
I think we have,
fairly.
yeah. All right.
Sorry.
The other comments will wrap up. Obviously, it's a little bit, I'm irritated by it. I'm sure it's clear.
That's coming through, yes.
I have a comment.
Go ahead. Keep it to 3 minutes.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Sure can.
Yeah, I was just gonna encourage you guys to go ahead and vote now because it would be the sooner you get that liaison in place, the more effective you can be. And I don't think there's really any downside to making a quick decision. You guys are an advisory board, and it's not like you really need to encumber yourselves with a whole lot of legal process and taking too long to make decisions. It could be it's timely to get that position into place sooner than later. That's all.
I don't think, we can mechanically.
You can,
can't
you can
it,
do a nod, but you
unfortunately.
can't take a vote,
Yeah,
not without it being on the agenda.
yeah. Is there any sort of nod? I mean.
I don't think there's any problem with someone attending
Yeah.
those meetings.
Yeah.
It would be a great benefit for us to have someone there making
Yeah.
introductions. I'm so-and-so for the Parks Department up in Ned.
Right.
We're thinking about maybe formalizing something. What would you
Exactly.
recommend?
Yeah.
But in a personal capacity as a citizen of
Yeah.
Boulder County, not
Right.
as a official representative of
Yeah.
Netherland or the Parks Board.
And that is next Thursday at 6:30. So I mean, if you wanted to carry your frustration, like ride that wave into next Thursday, I think that would be great.
Yeah.
Consistent with what CT said, and
So-
then that would give us more direction. Like once you get some feedback from the board for
Yeah,
have our meeting next month and like develop it. So I think that's a good idea.
Cool. Yeah, and like mechanically, we don't wanna.
Also, I know you're having a kid. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that could happen.
You do that.
Sure.
Somebody. All right, we're gonna move on from that. I think we've covered what we needed. We got like a way to move it forward.
Number 2, Sam.
But yeah, number 2. Number 2.
Congratulations. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, my wife's the real hero, let's be real.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah,
Yeah, of course.
let's just like make it super clear.
Yeah.
Um,
It's clear.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so status of finishing pros and getting the initial pros draft before the BOT. Luke, from the BOT side, you kind of basically said it's probably gonna need to move, and then additionally, you and I just like haven't wrapped up our piece of the puzzle that we wanted to add. Do we need to add it, or could we just put a recommendation on there that says like, we want,
I think,
Like a-
well,
you know what I mean? Like, I'm open to it, but we're struggling.
yeah,
to get it done.
we are struggling to get it done.
And we're holding it up,
I,
both of us.
I think though that because of the BOT's schedule,
Yeah,
like, it's a little bit of a moot point. I think we have
Okay.
time because, like, we're not gonna get it on the agenda for this next meeting, so we're at least.
We're in budget season
Yeah.
and the Eldora thing and now the fire thing.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna have to just
2 meetings
chill
out.
for a minute.
Is that like the last piece really? Like, I guess that's a question.
And the map is the last piece we were waiting on.
Yeah,
So we've dropped the ball.
there's the map, and then there was a couple of text changes that I was responsible for making, and so, but yeah, like I said, it's a little bit of a moot point, because
Okay.
there just isn't, business space right now. But that said, like, let's try to have that ready for the next.
Yeah, let's have it done.
Like,
Like,
let's at least be ready so that when the BOT has time, then
yeah,
we're-
I told Casey I'd have the maps and I don't, and so
Yeah.
effectively dropped the ball.
yeah.
Well, maybe we can just let's plan to maybe just do, because we have some new board members
Yeah.
at our meeting
Yeah.
Oh.
in November. Let's just find a lot,
That's
there's
actually-
still some comments.
Yeah.
Like,
that's actually
track
a
changes?
great idea to
Walk through.
to have everybody be able to walk through it, so they.
And then,
are-
so at the end of that meeting, you can be like, okay, this is going to the BOT whenever they have the capacity
Yeah.
to take it up.
And because that would be good to have the familiarity with the whole thing, so that when the BOT comes back with any comments or changes or feedback, that everybody's like, oh, okay, I know, what we should do with that.
Yeah.
So I think that actually be really helpful.
Cool. I know Caroline might not be able to lead that next month because she might be busy. So we'll just maybe we can talk offline on about who can maybe lead that work. I
Yeah,
guess.
I'll let you guys know. Yeah, would love to stay involved. But we'll definitely let you know how things are looking. And I guess part of me is also wondering if we could just put a sticker over the map and say this still needs to be updated, but the rest of the content can be reviewed by the bot.
Yeah,
Could we? Like, is that functional? Just,
Sure.
and then if it happens to be like, hey, you know what, we'll look at it,
Yeah.
then great.
I
And
think, well, the
Because
other
it's gonna,
thing-
like you said, it's probably gonna come back anyways.
Yes, it will come back anyways. And the other thing which I think we should be planning for is somebody from PROSAB should come and present
Yeah.
the thing, because it's a big document and it's a big ask to just put it in the packet and expect the trustees to have all read it at a level of detail that means anything.
Yeah,
So having one.
I mean, I'm happy to like
us-
help commit to that if,
Right, so
depending
it
on.
just could do a 5-10 minute
Yeah.
walkthrough and just be like, okay, here are the key points, these are the things, this is why we chose these things, and, you know, give a little bit of context. So that would be an extra commitment from somebody to go to attend that VOT meeting. And you end up sitting there for a long time, because you don't know exactly when it's gonna pop up, the timing.
And I would default to like Caroline, if that's something you would like to do like this, you have done the most work to push this to its finish line. And so it's like, it's all yours. But feel free to delegate additionally with babies on
Is
the
there
way.
a date? Sorry, I heard that this was budget season. It's gonna get delayed. Once there's a date, like, do we have an idea of when that would be?
There's not a date, and the realistic earliest would be the BOT meeting on the 4th of November would be the like absolute earliest possible. More realistically, the 18th, but that's before our next meeting, so.
Well, it still might work if, well, I mean, if we're able to like say, look, this thing's coming, but look at the rest, like, this is just gonna be a map.
Don't look at the map. Yeah, yeah, I mean, like, if we wanted to do like some, like we were talking about having like a bit of an internal review of it before we send it off, then we would not be, you know, we'd be looking at like the 2nd of December. And so,
When you say internal review, I just feel like PROSAB has had this for a really long time. I don't
That's
think we need to keep rehashing it. I may be missing something, but we had like 6 meetings in a row where people were tasked to read it beforehand.
like that is as like, because we have new members on the board, just an orientation for them, so like they understand like what the pro is all about, but that doesn't have to be something that I mean, that's something that people can do on their own time.
Yeah, and we could still have that, even if it's over to the BOT, like, and been
Yeah.
presented.
Yeah.
'Cause it's gonna come back, so be like, here, we're gonna orient you this at the
Right,
next meeting
exactly. Yeah.
as a discussion item, but,
Yeah,
or action item, but like,
yeah,
we're gonna send it and like, hey, BOT,
yeah,
you all try and
Let's-
get it on as soon as you can.
yeah, let's target, I mean, obviously we need to talk to John, but I think we could
We're gonna
target
Push it down.
something like the November 4th or 18th
Okay,
meeting for the BOT, so that we would be ready, which means us being done with it by like Wednesday, the 29th. So
Carolyn,
that's 2
if
weeks.
this, when you're gonna have a baby, or 2 babies, just, I would
I'll let you
attend.
guys, I'll let you guys know. I'll be induced by next Friday at the latest. So sometime in the next week and a half, I will have two babies. But but I would love to stay involved. What I can do though is like send it out to the newer members maybe, and I mean, if there's time at the end of this, I can also just like take 5 minutes to orient folks. But
Caroline,
maybe we can come back to that.
I already sent some information on pros in the current draft
Oh,
to
great.
Nick and Electra, so I'm sure they haven't like reviewed its like many pages yet, but I think they're hopefully we're doing our best to get them up to speed.
Okay.
Or you can come to the
Yeah,
board. with
I
your
started
baby.
reading it during the interview process, and I've been diving into more of it since then.
yeah. Okay,
Okay.
so, I mean, I like the idea of like put a sticker on that map, like map coming, but here you go, like this is what the map is gonna be, it's gonna be the different lands. You know, that we should have a relationship with in the categories, that what we do. We don't, and like otherwise, just like, let's send it out, like, let's ship it and get it out the door, cause it's gonna come back anyway, so like, let's. Force it on to y'all's agenda.
Just gotta get it done at some point,
Yeah,
so.
how do we functionally get it to the BOT? What do we need to do?
Get it to
It's gotta get to.
Get it to
John.
Macy.
It's gotta get to Macy / John, well, it has to get into John's agenda plan, and
Okay.
then we actually have to get the document to Macy by the Wednesday before, of the week before,
Okay,
to get it in the packet.
cool. Caroline, does that seem like something you are game to do? Like to send it to
Yeah, I
Macy?
can just email, so email John and Macy together.
Yeah,
Okay. I can do that,
cool.
like tonight.
Add me
Awesome.
in, Caroline, add me in.
Add
add
Nikki
you.
in.
Okay.
That's awesome. Thank you. That's like functionally just moves it forward. And puts it in the next step, so that's great. That's a big, that's a kind of a big win. Cause that thing really is outside of these like frustrating things we experience, like that's the guiding document to like get stuff done. And that we can confidently move on. Okay, you've already given us a link or anything else on that? Are we good? Casey, anything?
I was just gonna ask if, like, should one of us email, like, I know Nicole's your wife, but I wanted to, like, I don't wanna like leave her hanging, if like one of us should email her back with like what the game plan is, or like, I don't know, or if you could let her know that we have to, I don't know, I just don't wanna like leave
Yeah,
her hanging since
Yeah.
we sent that really thoughtful email about
Totally.
what's next, so.
totally. Yeah, I mean, I would say like if, if anybody wants to, it's sort of weird if I reply, but.
That would be the
if
best
anybody
though.
Wants to
Yeah.
reply, like.
I can reply.
Okay,
And-
I have the update, so I'll give it to
Yeah.
her.
thank you, Nikki.
I didn't wanna like throw you, I
Yeah.
didn't wanna suggest you like
That's
after that, but.
I know you hate email.
I spend enough time doing it. I can handle one more.
Send a voice message. So that, we're gonna move on, and that moves that forward, which is really cool. Rink Link Trail update, we've done that, and then Rink Water Season Chiller System Rental. Let's actually start with, so a little bit of just like clarity here. Jonathan did call me after the fire, was like, hey, can you help out with this a little bit? And really all that means just like starting with the understanding of like, Nikki, you have the knowledge, plus, there's knowledge from the folks that were running it prior to the town taking it over. And so there's a bunch of knowledge there, but ultimately, like, for clarity, and this isn't to create controversy, but the town does own it at this point, and it's run by the town. And then like and there's like the opportunity for input, which I'm learning about more of, like, from the rink, the organization, which is like a separate, I actually kind of need to be educated even further on that, just so I'm clear on it. But there is like some collaborative
Or
component there.
like maybe somebody could give like a little bit of background of
Yeah.
the rink organization and the history, and like, so that there's a little bit more
Context, yeah,
Rink is currently the board that ran the hockey ice season before town took it over.
right, 2 years ago, right?
Rink stands for Rackets and Ice for Netherland Kids.
Okay,
So there, back in the day, was a rift between the rackets and the ice.
okay,
And when the town took over the rink, it came with a tennis board, and it came with the ice board, which is
right,
So like the rink organization. Ice.
correct. The rink
Yeah.
now
Tennis
is
club is
just the ice, and tennis is separate. When town took it over, the rink board was supposed to stay with us, educate us,
Okay.
and work with us for 2 years.
Yeah.
And Scott Porter, actually, who's
Who's
on there
on the
now,
call,
yep,
right?
was actually a town employee. He was one of my dudes.
Oh, cool, I didn't know that.
For the first season that we ran the rink, and he kind of bestowed every bit of knowledge that he could on us. Scott still, helps out with stuff if we need it, that kind of thing. Up at the shop today. So, yes, they are involved, but they were, town for their knowledge and advice for 2 years.
Right, and like the town now runs it and owns it. Right? Just clarify if I'm wrong, please
Nope,
correct
you're
me.
correct.
I don't want to misrepresent this. Already has a history of some contention. Trying to move through that.
So can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
So the rinks was started quite a while ago, 2005, I believe it was, and it was ran for many years under volunteer and instructional from the rink board. I was obviously not involved in that early. Then it slowly transformed through other managers, and we had a 20-year lease from the town for us to run it as a separate entity from the town. And so we were getting close to the end of our lease, and we thought it would be best if the town would run their own park instead of having separate entities and try and create some sort of parks district. And I believe this is how it all kind of evolved as a park district, because prior to that, there really wasn't a parks district. And
I'm
I
gonna
could be,
clarify just, hey Scott, I'm just gonna clarify, it's a Parks Department because we don't have a Parks. I just don't want it to be confused.
sorry, department, district, I'm using the wrong word. So we handed over to the town. I believe it was a 3-year agreement that the town and the rink board was supposed to work together to transform what we knew into their hands so they could manage it properly, because anybody just jumping in would have to go through all the steps to you learn everything we've learned over 20 years, basically.
Like the knowledge transfer, basically.
Yeah, you know, same idea that Eldora is going to go through with the town as well, you know, maybe just in a different time frame. And so at this point, I think the 3rd year is up now. I'm kind of lost track of time. But the town does run the rink, and we are just representatives. We have collected over the years up to $50,000 that we have saved running the rink with all the volunteer stuff that we want to put back into the rink. And under the right circumstances, we don't want to just drop it and have it disappear on something that we don't feel is the right direction of the rink.
Scott, can I ask a clarifying question?
Sure.
So that $50,000 of like actual money that, or like of time saved,
Yes,
or I just want to clarify, I'm,
Not like,
we have a bank account with it in it, right?
it's like actually not, okay, got it. Cool, thank you.
Not fake. And that's why one of the members is very aggressive in trying to move the rink forward in his mind. We don't always all agree on the rink board. There's 4 of us. But he proposed that we did a curb this year to keep the boards in place, because I don't know if you don't know about the boards, when it was going back and forth between tennis and the rink, we would have to move the boards every year. Well, it's not really it's not like an erector kit where you can just take it apart, put it back together, and not have it damaged every year. So the demise of the boards over the years is really put some wear and tear. And we knew that if we would continue to move these boards, that they would just be completely destroyed. And then it would be another thing that we would need to purchase to continue to operate the rink.
Or someone would need to purchase, like, right? The town would need to purchase,
Well, I mean, the town
or
ultimately.
like at that time. Okay.
Yeah, the boards that are there currently were donated from Breckenridge when they upgraded 20 years ago, and they said you can have these boards if you come and get them. And so they did, because there were wood boards prior to that, and it's actually some of the wood boards from the original rink that used to be down by Barker Reservoir as part of the ceiling in the bathroom. So it's kind of a neat little part of history. But anyway, I'm here just because as representative, and we all just want it to be positive and moving forward in the best direction that we can. And I know we're all fighting Mother Nature, and it's getting more difficult to run a rink, and we all have our own opinions how that should be.
Well, first off, Scott, thank you for that history. Thank you for being here and thank you for like the, just sharing the intention moving forward positively. Obviously, I am very new to this stuff. I've been on the PROSAB board for a while, but like the rink, I've not been involved really. And so that said, I'm gonna take a moment and pass it over to Nikki just to talk about what some of the goals here are with it. Like, obviously the goal is more ice time for people.
Sorry, just jumping in. There's a little bit of an echo and some feedback. Scott, could you mute potentially?
I
Yeah,
could,
maybe.
there's nothing going on in my house here.
Well, let's try it and we'll unmute when back in. So with the goal being like more ice time, because that means more revenue. And that means that like the ice program that's run by Gavin's organization could potentially like host a tournament if there's reliable ice. And there's like a lot of positives there if we can extend our season reliably, right? And so that's the whole thing is like, can we extend the season reliably, right? Like,
Yeah.
correct me if I'm.
No, that's absolutely
Yeah,
always the
that's the
goal.
goal.
Always the goal to do it is,
And there's like
It's
three
our
big
happy
things,
place.
right? Like hold the water in, make it cold, like that would be the chiller idea, and then like cover it with shade so it doesn't melt. Just like,
So,
and then I'll be quiet and listen.
so right now we have a gasket that's holding.
Right.
And we know that it's holding because tennis had to build a pallet of walkway to play tennis this year. That gasket was
Because it was
holding,
retaining water
it
for
was
rain.
retaining water. It was retaining 6 inches of water. So we know the gasket is working. And part of our goal is to not just have ice season, but we also want to have tennis and pickleball.
Yeah, right. Which makes sense.
Right
for
now,
recreation.
until we get this big grandiose grant that I really, really want, but until we do that, I have to run both sports or all 3 sports
On that location.
in
basically,
that
is what-
same
yeah.
location.
Just clarity too, that like the goal eventually is to have separate.
That depends on who you talk to, because if you talk to the tennis board, they say no.
Okay, well,
So
why don't we come,
that's a different
Yeah.
topic. So what we're gonna talk about today is ice and the hockey season.
right,
And
So-
this coming season, right?
In this coming season. And so pouring a curb came about in about July was when Tim Murphy, I mean, Tim has talked about the curb for a long time, but Tim was one of
explain
the,
the curb just conceptually.
the curb is, so the south side of the rink is taller than the north side of the rink
Right.
because that drains to the northeast corner of the rink.
Right,
And so,
it's the opposite, but it's.
thanks, Scott. Thank you. So
One
one side of the, I'm sitting on the wrong side of the community center, so I don't know my directions right now, but
Right.
thank you, Scott. Jump in anytime you want to correct my directional faux pas. But thank you. I'll take you to another Avs game if you do. That was a fun day, but so the ice drains.
Right,
And so because of that, the concrete slab is poured at a slope in order for all that water to drain out.
right.
Tim brought up the idea, more aggressively, I
Jim
guess.
being a member of the rink board.
But, yep, Tim is the, I think, acting president
Okay.
of the rink board. Brought up the idea of pouring the curb right after we had just got tennis rerunning. As you know, we had a big shipping problem with the new portable tennis net. We'd
Yeah.
already shortened their season. We had turned their court from the north-south facing court, which
Yeah.
they like, to an east-west facing
Yeah.
court.
It's kind of a rough year for them.
It was a very rough year for tennis and pickleball.
Yeah,
And so in order to just like, let's just keep it going. We know the gasket's holding. Let's talk about the curb later. There's other.
let's not
aspect-
pour concrete so they can like
Right.
play tennis.
So the idea that Tim has of the concrete curb is that the curb would go around about 220 to 240 feet of that rink.
Okay,
That's not the whole rink. But really, when it comes down to it, the curb might have to be 8 inches on one side and 2 inches on the other side in order for it to be viable. The concrete people that I have talked to have said that curb should have been poured when they poured the slab. Because you can't pour concrete on top of concrete. It's gonna eventually leak. If it's just gonna sit on top of it, it's gonna get pushed out.
Yeah.
It's gonna break.
Called a cold joint.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So then, one of the ideas that Mark had was to build it to where it was shaped more like a bell. But then still, underneath that concrete slab are tension.
Yeah, totally.
So then you gotta think about where are we gonna cut into the concrete where we're not gonna be cutting into these tensions?
Just drop.
So the idea of the concrete curb is an awesome idea. I really, really love it. We gotta figure out how to do it. One,
And does it just hold? Like, just like,
the concrete curb would be something that the boards would sit on, and yes, it would hold water better.
Can I explain it a little bit more in depth?
Absolutely, Scott.
So basically, when we moved it back and forth from tennis to hockey, we needed a gasket material to hold the water because the boards themselves don't retain water. So we have it's basically a poly, it's I don't even know the exact fabric, but anyway, it's like it's a gasket that we put between the boards and the concrete, so you can actually put water in there and it doesn't leak out, it has a chance to freeze so you can build the ice. So the curb would take the place of the gasket material that needs to be replaced. Right now it's holding water, but it will demise over years of, exposure to the sun and then start leaking. So we would have to pull the boards up again and then replace the gasket. So with a curb detail, it would be a curb with some drain points that would be plugged for the ice season, and then you could make ice, and then when it came to tennis, you could pull those plugs, it would drain out, they would never have to build a bridge with pallets again. So it's a way to further the board's longevity without moving them back and forth when the gasket wears out, and also helping tennis in the long run. And I do understand that the tension wires in the concrete are one of the issues, but there is X-raying available to find those in the concrete and lay them out. Then that's obviously up to the next step for the concrete people, how to make it viable to stay in the place and cut a channel or however they do it. I just have to ask one more thing before I'm quiet. Tim did send out a email, and I believe it went to Nikki, Jonathan, and Gavin. I know Nikki's here today. I'm not sure if Jonathan's there. I don't see him on my screen. But it was from HTG Architects, and I don't know if anybody had a chance to look at it, but it's basically a rink building company from Minnesota who has done many of these things in the past and had many different recommendations how we could move forward efficiently.
Yep, we got that, Scott. And one of the things that Jonathan and I, that when we were talking today, that's one of the things that, so I haven't brought that up yet, but it will be brought up, was consulting.
Yeah.
And that's one of the people that we actually reached out to about consulting on this project.
This was the same fella?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Kyle,
Yeah.
I believe his name is Kyle. But either way, I'll let you guys continue.
Okay. Thank you, Scott. So, Nick,
I'll mute again.
So first, there's the gasket issue. So right now, like we were saying, the gasket is holding. And so we really don't want to mess with it this year.
Cool.
Not to say that we won't have to, because we know we will have to, but we know this.
Like at some point.
Yeah, probably next year, or maybe the year after,
Right.
who knows?
It's like a
But
pool
we
item,
know
like
it's
for-
going to be soon, very soon. And the gasket material isn't cheap and it's not easy to find. And moving those boards is horrible. So when we do have to move the boards again, it would be great to have the whole concept of what we're gonna do up there.
Like the
all-
long term.
Like we're ready to go. We know we're gonna pour the curb, or we're gonna move the
Yeah.
tennis court out there, and all of those things. So one of the things that you just heard me say to Scott was, let me back up. Let's talk about the chiller.
I was wondering how this.
Okay,
There's like
Chiller
three
is in the
components to
story.
it.
There are
You gotta
three
hold the
components
water. you
To
gotta
how we
freeze
are
the
going
water,
to extend this rink season. The chiller.
Yeah.
The chiller is over $1 million,
That's right.
and we've gotten many a quote.
Purchase.
Purchase price. is over $1 million. Rental price is over 50,000, upwards of $100,000. Plus you need three-phase power, which we do not have up there.
Right.
There was a company that came in and said that they could do that this year, but we need three-phase power. So then you have to get in Excel involved in trying to get three-phase power put up at the rink, which right now we are running that rink off of power strips. I don't have three-phase power. I barely have 120.
Right. Yeah. So
Is power, I mean, there is power or just like on Caribou Road, like you just have to get it from the road.
No, I would guess that the closest three-phase power would probably be over at closest to your shop, Nikki, is somewhere in that region.
There's some at Mud Lake, Scott. They put some closer to Mud Lake recently, more
Like,
recently.
it wouldn't be like three-phase that's going like to Caribou.
Not that I know of. Not, John and I have to figure out where the three-phase, or actually Britt and I were trying to figure out where three-phase power is the closest. And it's not just a matter of call Excel, have them put the pole in.
Yeah, or like where the generator is behind the school.
That's why I think there's some up closer to my, because I know they did
It's like, there's gotta
something,
be
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's,
only what I'm hearing. It's like
Those
unclear.
Is power, when the generator runs, that pump the water for Caribou Ridge.
oh, our town does not have three-phase power up there. No,
Yeah,
town never,
the diesel generator.
Right, but that generator only kicks in, power is off.
diesel.
Right, but like, it's not running all the time, so what's running those pumps?
It's not three-phase, it's whatever the other phase is. I'm not an electrician. I talked to Scott Landers about it, and Scott
Oh.
Landers is like,
Let me kind of bring us back for a sec.
Yeah.
Like, point is, we're unclear where phase power is.
unclear where three-phase power is. We know it's gonna be very expensive to get it to the rink, let alone then to electrify the buildings and or the surrounding
Okay.
area with three-phase power.
Do we have any idea of like what expensive means in terms of dollars?
No,
We don't.
I don't have any idea. Scott Landers had offered to do the work once there, but then we're talking about replacing panels and adding.
Scott, I'm sorry.
Scott Landers electrician.
Oh, he said like, hey, I'd volunteer some electric work.
Yeah.
Okay, we have someone.
I don't know y'all
Because
volunteer.
all Excel does is they're like, we will get the power to your.
Who the property, and then
you
To
wire
the,
it.
to the box, they'll get it to the main box, wherever the panel.
Okay,
the
yeah,
main panel
like power
is.
companies do.
Yeah, like with the meter.
so,
Got it. Scott said
And-
I can hook it up from there.
Okay.
so, and then Scott can help us hook it up from there. So that being said, that can't happen this year. Guarantee
Okay,
it, that's
great,
not gonna
great.
happen this year.
I'm
There
sure
are,
with the right phone call, they would tell you where the closest three-phase power is and then the
Brit-
viability of getting it there.
with our planning and zoning is trying to figure out where the three-phase power is up there, because eventually we're gonna wanna know
Right, we're gonna need.
whether or not it's for a car charging station or it's to run a chiller.
Okay.
So, or whatever it is. So the other thing is there are backyard chiller systems that you can run that are air cooled that wouldn't necessarily need the three-phase power, but that we're talking about needing like 5 of them in order to run half of our rink.
Yeah, and I heard like running sort of half a rink has the chance that you have uneven ice, right? Like,
Correct.
is
There's
that-
a chance of uneven ice, but the Zamboni can take care of that.
Is that right? Okay.
That's not a big deal. The
You would
Zam-
know. You would know.
Yeah, the Zamboni and running water and doing the things, but yeah, to get the water to be on top of the chiller system to be thick enough that people can skate on it. I mean, we're talking the very, very thick ice
Yeah, it's like.
And it's hard enough
like a
for
foot
us
thick or something.
to get the ice to be, for.
Yeah, if you imagine these chiller systems, right, it's like they're either rolled out or piped in, and it's just like a network of radiant piping that glycol or whatever the fluid is runs through and freezes the ice.
Right.
And you
So then
build
you-
it up over a couple days.
With those chiller systems, you also have the aspect of, it's a diesel generator. It's massive.
Even with the power, it's a diesel generator, is that like,
There's
you're
diesel
still,
generators, you need the power to run, and it runs pretty much all day.
right, and for everybody to know, like, to my understanding, and talking, just chatting with some of these companies too, like, you can run these, up to like 75 degrees, or if you have rain, like,
Sure, you
you're
can
like,
run it.
you-
Some people have year-round rinks,
right, exactly,
and they're cool. They're very, very cool.
right.
Those people have,
So that's like, if we consider an
covers.
investment down the line or at some point, like, you have a pretty guaranteed season at that point if you have this infrastructure sorted out.
Right.
But there's a.
But I need a shade system and I need a chiller system, and those combination of those two things is be incredibly expensive.
Right, there's like $1 million to $1.5 million price tag somewhere in there to get it all done.
More than that.
Well, maybe not like the.
For the chiller, $1 million.
And then whatever the shade.
And then the
Yes.
shade, we're looking
To
at
do it
crazy.
right.
To do it right, to do it pretty, to do it
Yeah,
not.
as it should
just
be.
Like a
Yeah.
big
Properly.
deal.
And something that's
Yeah.
not gonna just.
If you look at Sun Valley, if you look at Sun Valley shade system, that is a very cool system.
And that's what we want to do. We want to, if we're going to do it, we want to do it right.
Yeah, because part of the best thing about the Netherland rink is that bluebird day where you are outside and
get
you
open it
got
up, it's
the
beautiful.
blue sky and it's just beautiful outside and the music's playing and that is the best part of that just skating experience, not necessarily the hockey experience, but the skating experience, that bluebird day.
And that has the potential to like bring people up, to like make
It
it more of a
does bring
destination,
people up.
like
Yeah.
even more.
Yeah,
And it provides
absolutely.
like in 6 weeks, you all made $15,000 or something like that.
Well, we did.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like,
So, I mean, we did, but we're not. Well, and then there's the other aspect of that is if we were gonna extend the rink season, say 8 months or something like that, we gotta talk about staff.
right, that is like another.
There is another component to that. That's staff and Mark and Scott and anybody who has to run that ZAM and or make ice.
Yeah, you're running an ice rink full time.
It's just a full-time job.
Yeah, yeah.
And we cannot, because now what the town's going through with our volunteer things, volunteers cannot run our heavy equipment and they cannot take cash.
Yeah, and honestly, like it may not make sense to even run some of that stuff through volunteer
I mean, once you're at that scale though, I mean, you're talking about,
revenue.
you know, million plus dollars just to get going. I mean, having one or two people that is their job like this.
It's like-
Yeah, that's what it would be.
Yeah, you run an ice rink.
And granted, in the winter time, when that's what we're doing, and of course, we also have the whole downtown area to take care of. We have all the sidewalks, we have parking lots to plow, all of those different things, for opening the visitor center bathrooms, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But there are still 4 of us
You'd
at
have
the
to
rink
hire more people.
all year round. And I get 1 temporary employee up there. We'll
Yeah.
talk about the other one later.
Yeah, but that's my point is that like, once we get to that scale, you hire 1 or 2 or 3 people to run. the
That's-
rink during the
that's
winter, and
what it is.
That's just what you.
That's all, that's where they will be.
Which makes sense.
So to me, and that being said, what staff recommendation is, and believe me, I've done my research. Jonathan's been doing a ton of research.
Yeah, I
What
mean, you
our,
all really know.
what our recommendation is that we get a consultant up there to tell us what is best for that rink.
Because the other thing with the chiller is that most of these chiller companies are installing these things in much warmer locations than we have, right? Like, we're not looking to keep the ice rink open when it's 50 or 60 degrees, you know, down on the flats. Like this, you know, most of our days, you know, it's like 40 degrees.
Well, no, because
Not the extreme,
our struggle isn't the temperature.
it's the sun.
It's the sun.
Right. But.
And
but that's
some
what-
the
I guess-
temperature.
I guess that's my point is that it's not so much that we're needing like a massive amount of cooling, it's just that we need to mitigate the impact of the sun hitting, you know, that.
And I think it's a combination of both. If we want to really extend that season, it's gonna be a combo.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it would be.
Can I add in real quick?
Scott,
So when I managed the rink for 4 years before we handed it to the town. I was convinced that if we did have a shade structure, which there's a lot of pros and cons about that, that we would extend the season a month before and a month after than what we typically close. So back in the day, we could open in November, and now it's really tricky to open by the end of December because, of course, Mother Nature isn't treating us very well. As far as ice conditions, that could change year to year. And then toward February, we start melting off again. We did have one good season. We started at the beginning of December. When I was running it, early December, and we made it all the way to March. And that doesn't happen very often anymore, but with the sun beating on it and to put in reflection how this really affects, they had an outdoor game in Lake Tahoe for the Avalanche years ago. And they have the most sophisticated system so that the NHL players could play. They didn't have it under a shade structure. And they had to cancel the game because it was melting, even with the sophisticated ice system they had there. And then they postponed it until 10 o'clock at night. When the sun was gone, they had a chance to refreeze it and play it. So really, it is a combination, but without the sun, we have a way better chance of sustaining ice without a chiller, because it does get cold at night, and as long as the sun isn't beating on it, because there's a time, the sun dips behind the mountains a little bit and you get shorter days of sunshine on the ice. So obviously there's only about a month and a half where the sun is only on the ice for a short amount of time compared to the beginning and the end. So it's the shade structure is ultimately something that you can put up there and then not have to rely on fueling a chiller or the noise of a chiller or the maintenance of a chiller that would help extend the life of the ice.
Okay, cool.
Oh,
Thank you.
Does that make sense?
yep. So it's town staff's recommendation at this time that we hold off on the chiller system, that we get a consultant up there to try and actually go through the rink with us, look at what we actually need in order to extend that season, how we can do the buildings, the architecture of the buildings, the curb for the surface, where we can move the tennis courts, all of those things. A professional person to do this,
Right.
not just a bunch of town volunteers
Yeah.
or whatever. But actually, if we're going to spend money, that would be where our dollar is going to go the furthest.
Makes sense.
It doesn't make any sense at all to try and go for a grant when we don't know what we're going for.
Yeah. What I'm hearing is you want to do it right once.
Well, absolutely,
and
1,000%.
Make it a world-class facility from there and like figure out the funding.
I don't want to ruin this amazing thing that these volunteers built for the last 20 years.
Then let's not. Let's like,
And I don't want to waste our town money on renting a chiller if
That
it
won't work.
may or may not work.
Or might just be overkill, right?
Or might be overkill. Or
Yeah.
holy cow, now I've got to deal with 27 emails a day from one single person whom you know who I'm talking about the noise of the
yeah.
generator.
So I like, makes total sense, and I've done a bit of my own homework on it too, and like, I basically came to the same conclusion, right? Like, and was curious what you knew, because I knew you'd spend a lot more time with it and way more deep expertise with it, because you actually do it and you're, been involved. So personally, like we have on here as a potential action item, should the board vote on offering a recommendation to the BOT on the acquisition of chiller for the rink winter season? Sounds like no. It sounds like.
If you guys do it, you're doing it without staff support.
Right, and we don't want to do that, and it just also sounds dumb.
Right.
Thanks.
Like, it just sounds dumb, right? And like, what sounds smart is to get someone up here who can like, look at it, draw up a proper plan. This is like, here's how you do it. Here's like, given your climate, your data, whatever, your space. Here's how you do it. Right.
And that
Is that
consultant,
right?
that money that we would spend on a consultant, the paper that he would give us in the end.
Yeah,
Or the documents or whatever you want to say.
They would go
that
get
he would
money
give
with
us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe this isn't the year to get a federal grant, but I don't think GoCo is going to be the way to go on this.
yeah.
That is the proper way to go, and hopefully they can break it down into phases, because I think the overall price tag for all the things that we're looking at is going to be extraordinary. And if it could be broken down to 2 or 3 phases, and what's going to be like make the most sense. What do we do first so we can build it and back out of here and not like go like if we did the roof. To me, in my mind, it's like if you did the roof first, then you can back up and do the buildings. But if you did the buildings first, then you have to work around them to build the roof structure. There's definitely a sequence that it needs to happen in to make it very efficient and not cost more than it really should.
Yes.
We know what the community wants. We've done the community outreach aspect of it, but what we need is that consulting firm to come in and tell us,
And
this is how it should be done.
And then from that, you can also, you've got a total budget. You can start to be like, okay, how long, you can start to do some.
Can we do phase 1 and phase 2 with this budget?
Yeah, and I'd say like, quite frankly, if we can get all the money together, just do it when summer be done,
Yeah.
Sure,
Like-
of course,
like-
if we could do it,
like,
great,
why- like-
awesome, why not? But if we have to do
Put
it
it in phases, but if you could do them all at once, like quote, unquote, one after the
Yeah.
other, like just do it.
we
You
can
know?
handle 1 and 2 in one season, great, let's do it. If we
Yeah.
can handle it all,
Great,
And,
awesome.
and to be able to.
I love it.
The revenue models to be like, how long does it take us to recoup, you know, if it costs
Yeah.
$1.5 million, like, oh.
How do we
with
amortize
the
that?
Season, it only takes us.
Right.
You know,
Like the Avalanche wanna contribute to this.
because
in some way or
we've
something.
written letters to the Avalanche asking them to sponsor us and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they love you, right?
They do. Bernie the dog, he farted on me.
So I'm like personally happy to like and it's up for discussion, but say like, I would recommend that the BOT fund someone that you find that you think is appropriate to do this engineering work. Maybe you present it to us, maybe you just make the decision because you're the pro, like
It-
you're already
it is-
doing it.
Yeah.
And it sounds like maybe you got somebody.
John, well, between John finding that funding for Idaho Springs Skate Park
Yeah.
was really incredible. I think that this is really a staff, who we could get for the
Yeah,
consultant
you don't need us,
firm
like
is
you can do it.
at staff level, let's see. Decision.
Cool.
I think ultimately that's what the email from Tim with the HTG architects. So I'd love for you guys to take a look at it. Not that you have to go with them or not, but it's kind of a basis of exactly what you're talking about, because we've been thinking about this for years, you know, and we've been wanting to push for this. Obviously, the biggest thing that we were fighting all along was tennis never wanted a roof because they don't want to play under a roof. But the money that the rink would bring in compared to what tennis would bring in was hands down by far the population likes to go to the ice a lot more than the tennis.
And
You
also
can host 100 people on the ice rink, but you can only play maybe 8 people in tennis, depending on how many courts are out there. So any which way.
It's pretty clear, like ice brings in more revenue, and we're not gonna knock
Brings in
tennis
money,
because
but we-
tennis is a wonderful thing, and if you like to play it, it's awesome and you wanna play it. And so like,
Yeah, we can't
if we-
discredit a sport.
not at all, and like, they make retractable roofs. Or what.
Absolutely.
Just
If
get
you
it-
guys get
that'd
a
be
chance,
cool.
look
And
at
it'd be cool to skate
Sun Valley
with that anyways.
ice rink. It
Right.
is, their shade system is
Sounds
awesome.
like we need to send you on a trip.
I think I'd be down.
Okay,
Conservation funding.
from here, do you want us to, like, on this action item, do we need to adjust it technically, or can we use this, what's on here, to vote on making a recommendation that the BOT, like, that would be my proposal, feel free to
Use
propose.
your action item and then vote on it.
Great, so,
You can use that as I recommend that the board does or does not recommend to the Board of Trustees.
so what my vote, like action item vote, then recommendation would be that I would recommend that the PROSAB board recommends that the BOT finds the funding for a proper consultant based on the staff's research and decision to like put a full plan together to make this a world-class facility, basically, like, instead of getting, a chiller and doing it half-assed.
That sounds like a.
We'll work on the English, but yeah.
I think that's totally appropriate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does anybody want to second that, or you want me to adjust it?
Seconded.
You wanna go, we'll go around and do a vote. Adam,
Yes.
Casey,
Yes.
CT,
Yes.
Luke,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Caroline,
Yes. Yes.
and I'm obviously yes, so.
Collector.
Oh, yeah, sorry,
Oh,
like,
she's
where,
not-
she's
no.
not here anymore.
Oh,
She dropped off, but. So.
Yes.
Thank you.
thanks, Scott.
Yeah, thank you, Scott, for your, and like, helping us move this discussion along, and we appreciate your expertise and input.
Absolutely. And Nikki has my contact. You know what? I just want the best for everybody, and I want it to be a sustainable rink. And my son started skating there at 1 day before he turned 3, and he's a hockey player. And ice isn't just for hockey. They're curling up there. They can broom ball. The disco skates have really made some great progress over the years with I think we made like $1,500 in 3 hours one time. So it's like, it's just a great place to be. It really is. So I just hope everything can move forward, and I know nothing happens fast, but just want to see the best for the place.
Maybe it could happen.
Thanks,
Maybe.
Scott.
Thank you for your work on that and all the years.
Absolutely. And like I said,
There's a glacial joke in there somewhere.
Yeah, so like if you guys ever have any questions, feel free to reach out to me or have Nikki reach out to me. I'm glad to help any way I can.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you guys.
All right, you good to move
Scott
on?
is also the manager for the indoor rink that Emmett Hoyle runs.
Oh, yeah,
So
cool.
He does
Right
know,
on.
he does know his,
He's pro when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah.
So
Very
hopefully
much
you all lean
appreciate
on whatever resources you feel are appropriate,
Yeah.
from a staff level decision. And I guess action item is you'll give us an update on, or do you,
I'll tell you when we have a consultant coming.
okay,
You
great.
guys can
That
come
sounds
in.
good. And you're gonna pitch it to the BOT and make
Yeah,
sure they.
and this like also falls into what John has been talking about of like formalizing our structure for how we convey these
Right.
recommendations. I'll give it in my update, but like I would love.
We'll
to have
work on
this
that,
more-
you and I and John.
Yeah, exactly, so that these things come as like.
And we do have
like
the
a
money.
Agenda items. like-
Yeah,
Like-
we have the money that's set aside for the rink grant.
Yeah.
Right.
And so it's not,
You use that money for it, right?
yeah, our
Okay.
general fund is gonna be pretty well screwed this year, but we do have the money now. In 2025, we
And
have
it
it
kind of
Like
depends,
for a
like,
consultant
I'm sure,
or for,
for the grant.
yeah,
So it potentially could get pulled from that grant money because it is going to make us money for the grant. Because it is going to be part of the grant.
okay, so
So
we can use this grant money. that we have set aside
I think there's a clear
funding
path
forward.
to it.
okay, cool. That's great. That's even better. Kind of gives you some.
Yep.
Confidence that it can get done. All right, last thing really, other than.
Yeah.
Wrapping it up. Casey
Yeah.
submitted a
so-
letter.
Yeah, so I wrote a letter.
Yes, you did. It was a very nice letter.
So last month, Sam, I know you weren't here and some of our new board members weren't
Yeah.
on online, but I know Nikki has mentioned in this meeting that she's, has a small staff and how much, the Parks Department has to do. And so she put in a funding request for the NDDA, which is the Netherlands Downtown Development Authority.
Mhm.
And so unlike our board, they have a lot of money. And so from time to time, they'll fund some parks initiatives and then they do a lot of other important work from downtown. So Nikki had put in a funding request to help fund one of Nikki's really successful summer employees to stay on for
Right.
12 weeks. And so we asked how we could support as a board, help this request. And so I wrote a letter on behalf of PROSAB, kind of recapping all the awesome stuff that Nikki's Parks Department does specifically in the downtown area. And so I know that they were supposed to have a meeting last month, but Nikki had let me know that it got postponed, so I wanted to see what the status of that was and if we can continue to lobby for that on your behalf or where things are at with that.
Yeah, but yes, you can always lobby for me.
That's what
I
we're,
gotta start out by saying the NDDA has never been really 100% supportive of any request that I've ever given, nor have they been 100% supportive of the streets department. I've never
What's their
gotten
deal?
full funding.
What's the deal? Why is it?
You ask for 36,000, they'll give you 6. Yeah.
I'm not sure if they, like, they're all nice folks, but like the
Yeah, they are.
town and everything is kind of
It's-
small, and so it sort of all goes.
I think they've figured out
Yeah.
what their priorities should
Okay.
be. And I think that they've also, I think what happened was their link wasn't working on my computer and I had to run into town on last Wednesday.
Uh,
Last Wednesday night, I was in town until really, really late and then came back in on Thursday morning, really, really early. So, but I had to run into town to attend the meeting in person
Uh-huh.
because the link wasn't working for me. So I showed up and Rita, the town accountant, leans over and says, "They tabled your item." And I was like,
Like they tabled it a second time.
so yes, they tabled it and then they saw me come in and turned it right back around and Rita's telling me, I don't think they're gonna go for it. And I was like, please, 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 because this employee that I have is incredible. She is on time
Yeah.
every day, working her little rear end off and really smart, knowledgeable. We put a lot more than I've ever put into a temporary employee into this one because she's been so incredible.
Yeah.
They not only funded me through the end of the year,
Oh, great.
they gave me $5,000 for holiday lighting.
Okay, cool.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, so
They
we're like,
also-
take on them.
And I had to do some negotiating. I gotta put out more trash cans and I gotta spruce up the Welcome to Netherlands sign and,
And like,
you know,
like a.
you give me the,
Grass
I'll give you
boost
this,
and-
you know? So,
Gotta have a hula hoop on it,
yeah.
otherwise it's not a
so
fit.
$5,000 for holiday lighting, which if
Yeah,
I was gonna buy one of those grandiose
Right.
arches, it's like $20,000, but.
Mhm.
But I can do a lot more with 5,000 than I could
okay.
with the 1,000 that they gave me last year.
Yeah, what can you?
And my parks department is really good at crafting, so
Okay,
we're gonna craft some cool stuff, but my idea is to do the river walk. It's solar lights that go from the pedestrian bridge down to Chipeta Park,
oh, cool.
as well as some kind of solar lights for the Welcome to Netherland mining sign, head frame sign, because we've never really been able to do anything there. So something with the mining head frame and then like a river walk feature that goes from Ped Bridge. So maybe after our town lighting ceremony, people can walk down the river walk to Chipeta Park and have these beautiful little solar displays.
That's awesome. Good job.
So not only that,
But wait, there's more.
but wait, there's more. I knew Netherland was gonna be in a tough budget year in 2026, regardless of the fire. So I asked the NDDA to fund my temporary employee and to create a part-time year-round position. So when the NDDA's funding budget book or budget item goes before the Board of Trustees, in the beautification budget is money to fund my temporary employee, creating a part-time year-round employee. So
Great.
they're gonna theoretically, if the BOT approves it, fund her all through next year.
That's great.
So that you can
Hallelujah.
complete like work like not only the end of this year, but all through the entire 2026 year.
Nice
Full
letter,
time.
Casey.
Okay, cool.
You need us to like, put a, even though not of fours are like not a formal thing, would it help for us to say, hey, BOT, we want to see this happen?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
okay, so
absolutely.
Can we do that?
It's in the NDDA's budget. So that'll go before the BOT on the 21st for the initial stuff. I don't think it's a final. I don't think so, but
Okay,
I know I will be at the BOT meeting on the 21st. So will the NDDA, Kate, the executive director. And part of their beautification budget is the funding for Judy, the flower lady. And then Jana.
okay, yeah. Cool. So, yeah, like back to and then we're gonna wrap up here, I think here.
Yeah.
Is,
That's all.
what can we do to like ensure that happens for you?
I mean, if Luke puts it in as a report, that's a nod from
Yeah.
you guys to say that, yeah, this is a necessary component to the Parks Department.
So we'll do this not a four thing. It's technically like an informal, they don't really mean anything. They don't have any binding thing, but it is us showing like, yep,
It's our support.
and they're not even in like the bylaws of these, but they're sort of done a little bit. So we can do it. And so not that we need a motion, but I will be the first to nod that we should do this. And, I'll go around and say, yes or no on it. So Adam,
Yes.
Casey,
Yes.
CT.
Yeah.
Luke. Caroline.
I lost. Oh, she's there, but.
Nick, I'll pop to you.
Yes.
Sorry, yes.
Okay, cool. All right, well, everybody's in favor, so that way you can bring that just informal approval and encouragement. Okay, anything else before we wrap this up and?
I just want to say congratulations, Casey and Nikki. That's awesome.
I'll just say I put in there, just our next meeting is Thursday, November 20th, so it's the weekend before Thanksgiving, which like isn't ideal, but we'll see what attendance looks
Yeah.
like, I guess, next month. And it's not the end of the world if we
And we've done it in the past. You might want to consider it for December. In the past, we typically have canceled the December or just not had a December meeting just because there's so many things that come up and go on.
Why don't we take that at November?
Yep.
I got a lot I wanted to
Good
see.
to consider.
Cool, all right, motion to adjourn?
Second.
Great.
8.
Yeah.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you
Thanks,
have
everybody.
Thank you.
board
Bye.
members, try to like share contact information and that way you can reach out and talk to people as needed. I'll do the same.
Is everybody, are the new board members on the distribution
Listserv?
list?
I don't know, I just like, I feel like the distribution list doesn't work, so I just include
You
everyone's
get
email.
emails?
Yeah.
Adam got emails.
Okay.
You get that,